does it look like when the Son of God dies? When the one who spoke the stars into existence breathes his last? When the light of the world is swallowed by darkness? They called him king. They mocked him. They nailed him to a cross. And in the darkness between noon and 3, he did something no one expected. He forgave them. He saved a thief. He finished what he came to do. After the trial, after the scourging, after the mocking and the crown of thorns, Jesus was led away to be crucified. He carried his own cross toward Golgotha, the place of the skull. But he was weak. The scourging had torn his back. He stumbled under the weight. The soldiers seized a man from Cyrene named Simon, who was passing by on his way in from the countryside. They put the cross on his shoulders and made him carry it behind Jesus. A stranger, a bystander, dragged into the story. He would never be the same. They brought him to Golgotha, a hill shaped like a skull, the place of execution, the place where Rome displayed its power over rebels and criminals. They stripped him, they laid him on the wood, and they drove the nails through his hands and feet. The cross was lifted, and Jesus was hung between heaven and earth, between two criminals, between two worlds. And then he spoke, not a curse, not a cry for vengeance, but a prayer. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. The soldiers who nailed him, the religious leaders who mocked him, the crowd that shouted, "Crucify." He asked his Father to forgive them all. They didn't understand what they were doing, but he did. He was dying for them, for us. But the mockery continued. The religious leaders passed by, shaking their heads. You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross, if you are the Son of God. Even the soldiers mocked him. They offered him sour wine. If you are the King of the Jews, they said, save yourself. One of the criminals hurled insults at him, but the other was different. Don't you fear God? We are punished justly, but this man has done nothing wrong. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise. One word, one moment, one criminal who believed, and Jesus promised him eternity, not for his works, for his faith. This is the scandal of grace, a thief, a cross, a promise. No one is too far gone. Near the cross stood his mother, Mary, who had held him as a baby, who had watched him grow, who had believed when no one else did. Woman, here's your son, here's your mother. Even in his agony, Jesus was caring for his mother. He gave her to John, his beloved disciple, and from that hour John took her into his home. He was dying, but he was still giving, still loving, still making sure those he loved would be cared for. At noon, darkness fell over the whole land. The sun stopped shining. Creation itself was mourning. Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani? My God, why have you forsaken me? The cry of dereliction. The Son, who had been with the Father from eternity, now experiences separation. He bears the weight of the world's sin. He becomes the curse for us. He was not forsaken in the end. But in that moment, he tasted what sin does, what separation from God costs. He took it for us. I thirst. A simple word, a human need. The creator of the universe, who made rivers and oceans, now thirsts. A soldier soaked a sponge in sour wine and raised it to his lips. He drank. It is finished. One word in Greek, tetelestai. It means completed, accomplished, paid in full. The debt of sin paid. The work of redemption completed. The sacrifice offered once for all. Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Not I am defeated, not it's over, but I entrust myself to you. Complete trust, perfect surrender. He bowed his head, and he breathed his last. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The veil that separated the Holy of Holies, the presence of God, from the people, torn open by God from above. The earth shook, rocks split, tombs broke open. Creation itself responded to the death of its creator, a Roman soldier, a pagan, an executioner. He looked at the way Jesus died and confessed what the religious leaders denied. Truly, this was the Son of God. As evening came, a man named Joseph of Arimathea, a secret disciple, went boldly to Pilate and asked for Jesus' body. He took the body down, wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and placed it in a new tomb cut from rock, a tomb that had never been used. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary watched. They saw the tomb. They saw the stone rolled in front of it. It had seemed like the end. The king was dead. The disciples were scattered. The tomb was sealed. Good Friday. Why call it good? Because on this day, the worst thing that ever happened became the best thing that ever happened. On this day, Jesus took the punishment we deserved. He bore the sin we committed. He drank the cup of wrath so we could drink the cup of grace. He said, "It is finished." The debt was paid. The sacrifice was complete. The way to God was opened. But Friday is not the end. Sunday is coming. The tomb will not hold him. Death will not win. The King who died will rise again. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, hit subscribe and let me know in the comments. What does the cross mean to you?